everyone. It is Kaisha here. I'm back. Thank you for joining me in another episode of 5D Conversations. So if you had caught the last episode, I was speaking about soul loss. And I wanted to speak about that first because I wanted to go into things that you can do to help with that. Go into inner child healing. So I'm going to be talking about inner healing, starting with the inner child. So the inner child is a part of your psyche that still retains its innocence, creativity, awe, and wonder towards life. It's that childlike aspect of you. And even though you cannot see your inner child is still very real. It is an aspect of who you are. Without your inner child, you are not whole. Your inner child is the part of your personality that still reacts and feels like a child. Not everyone is in touch with their inner child. We are programmed actually to not be in touch with our inner child. We are programmed to not be whole, as a matter of fact, right? Why would I want whole people around them? They're not going to listen to me. They're going to think for themselves. But that's a different episode. Let's stick to one topic at a time. So usually when people begin to connect with their inner child, it is because of some kind of traumatic experience that has happened that has forced them. Usually I think that's a divine intervention when shit just hits the fan so bad that you're like, hold up, I need to do something. Something's not right here. Something's not right here. I don't feel good. I need to figure out what it is. I know that's what it was for me. So usually when you're dealing with these type of problems, you are forced and being told that, hey, something's not right. You need to go back and correct what has been broken. You need to go back and heal what has been wounded. You need to go back and fix it. So what you need to remember is that although no one can see their physical traces of your inner child, it is nonetheless very real. The challenge is to know, accept, and connect with that part of your personality. And believe me, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It's no walk in the park. I've been doing my inner child work. I've been doing that to this day, and it's been kicking my ass. But I'm a Scorpio, and I don't give up. And when I see a challenge, I'm just like, bring it on. We're going to do this. I'm going to do this. I got this, right? I do not back down from challenges. Absolutely not. So why is inner child work so important? It is one of the most serious and profound forms of inner work you can actually do on yourself. Remember, we are sovereign beings. We can heal ourselves. I know on this planet, we are taught to go to the doctors and get some pills and get some medication and take this and drink that and and then you're fine. Nope, you don't need to do that. We are self-healing beings. We can heal ourselves from the inside out. And I mean like real healing too. As a matter of fact, no one can really heal you. They can guide you into how to heal yourself. But on this planet, we are made to heal ourselves. And how beautiful that is though, right? Because you are being taught that you are all powerful, all knowing. And it's just like we're really learning how to embrace who and what we really are. So safety is not just physical, it's also emotional, psychological, and spiritual. So when we feel truly safe within our family environment, we have our physical and emotional boundaries respected, our authentic selves accepted, and we feel close to and loved by our family members, mostly our parents. We also need to be given permission to grow and change and have all of our basic physical necessities met, food, water, a safe home or neighborhood. A quote that I found that I thought was just great to go with this episode was by Woody Harrelson. A grown-up is a child with layers on, and that is exactly what we are. And we are learning now to strip back, peel back the layers of like an onion, peel back the layers of who we are so we can really discover who we are, peel back the layers of who we're told to be or who we think we are so that we can discover who we really are. And that is what I've been doing. Sorry about the shaking, you guys. Sorry. The reality is life is not ideal, and I can attest to that. Families that we are born into are not always a great match for us. They say you can't pick your family, but you can pick your family through your friends, right? So it's important to remember that our parents did the best they could. When I started doing my inner child work, I realized that my mom, okay, so first off, my background is I grew up in a single parent home. So it was just my mom and 9 kids. There was no father around. And my mom was, she had mental disorder. So I had a very chaotic childhood. And to be honest, I don't even remember having one. I believe from like the age of 10, I don't remember being younger than 10, because I just blocked everything out because it was just a bunch of bullshit. It was just shit to me. And I'm a person, if I don't want to deal with something, I just cut it out. And that's it, right? And it had affected me throughout my life. So here are some of the most common ways we are made to feel unsafe. You are taught that it's not okay to have your own opinions. I come from a background that is West Indian, so we are taught that children are to be seen and not heard. And I just don't agree with that. Like, what are you, a plant? You're just supposed to look good and stand. You can't say nothing. You can't voice your opinion. You can't express yourself. I don't agree with that. I am a firm encourager and adamant to my children. Show me who you are. Let me see who you are. Open up. That's it, right? I don't want to hear nothing. Shh. No. I want to hear what you have to say. Let's reason. Yes. You were punished when trying to speak up or act differently. I remember growing up, and it was very, you don't say shit about shit or you're going to get it, right? It was like you got beat for everything. And I know a lot of West Indian background, and that's just the upbringing. That's just the culture. If you say something or do something, even if you don't say something or don't do something, you're going to get beat. You get beat. And we've been taught and programmed to believe that shit's okay. It's okay to deal with your kids like that. That's abuse, right? You should be able to talk to someone and not have to slap them in their face or punch them in their face or pull their hair or drape them up. You should be able to talk to someone and reason with them, and they understand what you're saying without you having to resort to those things. You should never have to resort to those things, especially as a child. Doing those things to a child, that's going to affect them. They're going to carry that for the rest of their life. Absolutely. You were discouraged from playing or having fun. You weren't allowed to be spontaneous. You weren't allowed to show strong emotions such as anger or joy. You were shamed by your parents or family members. You were verbally criticized or abused on a regular basis. Or you were physically punished, like I said, beaten. You were made to feel responsible for your parents and their level of happiness, which children are not responsible for their parents' happiness. As a matter of fact, we are responsible for our own happiness. You can't put that on your child to make you happy. You have to do that yourself. They did not ask to be here. You brought them here. You brought them in this world, and now they're supposed to make you happy. Don't you think that's kind of a heavy burden to place on a child? You know, or you weren't given physical affection such as hugs, kisses, cuddles. Growing up in my household, we never got that. My mom, I realized that my mom could only do the best that she could with what she had and what she knew. And she never received those things as a child. She grew up had a very traumatic childhood. As a matter of fact, she never had a childhood either. So she didn't know how to treat us as children because she never experienced that. So going back and doing my inner child work, I had to realize that, you know what? I have to forgive her, because you can't teach what you don't know and you can't give what you don't have. And she wasn't equipped. So let's further break down ways we're made to feel unsafe. And these things lead to inner child wounding, you know, especially if you come from a dysfunctional family or dysfunctional upbringing. And I know that, like, I was like the poster child for dysfunctional.com, because my childhood was a mess. It was the hottest mess. We were looked at as those kids in the neighborhood, right? With the woman, remember that nursery rhyme, the little old woman that lived in the shoe, she had so much kids, she didn't know what to do. Yes, we were the hood version of that. So the woman that lived in the hood with all the kids, she didn't know what to do. We were one of those kids. So things like emotional neglect. Your parents or guardians didn't show interest in your emotional needs for love, support, protection, and or guidance. They either didn't pay attention to you or condemned emotional expressions or need from you. The likely outcome for stuff like that is you develop low self-worth and self-esteem issues. You begin ignoring your emotional needs. You learn to hide from, avoid, or repress your emotions as they were associated with feelings of neglect from your childhood. And I was very much a poster child for that. Like I said, we never got affection. My mom wasn't one to tell us she loved us a lot. It wasn't until my early 30s that my mom started saying that she loved us. And that's because she started to realize, you know, because of the way how some of my brothers and sisters were acting towards her, because of their inner child wounding, she had to step back and realize that she didn't really do the best by us. But she's learning now, right? And that's what's important, that she's learning now. And she's alive to make those changes. Some people don't even, their parents are not even alive to make those corrections. But it's for us as sovereign beings to realize that people can only do what they know, you know, and we have to have that compassion to be like, you know what, when I didn't know it, I was doing that. So you develop psychological or physical sicknesses connected to your inability to listen, to accept and deal with your emotions in a healthy way. Emotional repression. I know a few people that are emotionally repressed. I was one of them. I'm a very affectionate person, but when it came to me opening up about my own feelings, how I really truly felt, I didn't do it. I just didn't do it. Psychological neglect, there is such a thing. This type of neglect was manifested in childhood by your parents or guardians who failed to listen to, embrace, and nurture the person you were. As you grew older, you likely developed any variety of these symptoms. So you developed low self-esteem, issues due to forms of abuse such as ridicule, put-downs, overly high expectations, being ignored, rejected, or constantly punished. I know a few people, like I said, in the West Indian background, beating your child is perfectly normal. That comes from slavery, right? And we really need to check our history. We need to do our research of why things are the way they are and make changes, right? As twin flames, we are different. We are not here to fit in. We are here to stand out. You can't help but stand out anyway, right? So we are here to rebuild and reprogram, help reprogram the way how things are on this planet, the dynamic on this planet. Like I said, I grew up in a background that beating your child was perfectly normal. And it wasn't like a little smack. Right? You don't get smacked, you get beat. Like you get the beat, like the blacks beat off of you, right? Yeah, it was like that. And we grew up thinking that stuff was normal, and it's not. It's not normal, and it's not okay. And these things really do create inner child wounding. You know, a lot of times I wouldn't say how I felt. I didn't express myself. I didn't even know how to. So you also, you develop deep-seated anger issues, both from unresolved childhood trauma and an ability to love yourself. Once again, I was the poster child for this as well, because I was the person who went from 0 to 100 quick, not even real quick, because the real took too long. It was just, what did you say? Snap on your ass. And that was from anger that I had repressed inside, anger from childhood of not being able to be who I really am, not being able to experience and enjoy being a child. Inability to love oneself. It wasn't until maybe 2 or 3 years ago I really started to love myself, right? So it wasn't until I was in my mid-30s that I realized how important it was for me to love myself and make myself a priority first. It was from planting that seed of self-love why I was able to do all these things and explore wounds that I had as an inner child and explore the fact that I needed healing and not back down from whatever came up. It's important for me to be whole. It's important for me to show up as my authentic self. You develop addictions and neurosis to create a misguided sense of comfort and safety within your life. I used to smoke cigarettes and I started smoking from a young age. I started smoking from I was like 15. Stressed. I was stressed the F out. Because at 15, I wasn't dealing with 15-year-old problems. I was dealing with adult problems. Like, where am I going to live today? Is my mom going to kick me out? Is she going to have one of her meltdowns and kick me out? Am I going to be sleeping at the park today? Am I going to have bus fare to go to school? I need to go to work so that I can get money because I need lunch money for school. I need money to take care of myself. Right? At 15, I was thinking about stuff like this when I should have just been kicking back and wondering what's for dinner. What's for dinner, Mom? I didn't have those things. I didn't. That's not how life was for me. So I had a whole lot of inner child wounds that needed to be addressed and healed. You develop psychological and or physical illnesses. You have problems sustaining healthy and respectful relationships. Like I said, posterchild.com. So I had found myself in a relationship with a karmic on and off for 10 years. And it was the epitome of what you did not want in a relationship. Everything that you did not want to experience in a relationship, I experienced. And no matter what happened, I just would not leave. For some reason, I just would not leave. And I just kept thinking to myself, things are going to get better. You know, I remember seeing my mom in relationships, and it was like, no matter what someone did, she would just stay. And I said to myself, I'm going to do the exact opposite. When I was younger, I said, whatever my mom does, I'm going to do the exact opposite. But subconsciously, I was doing exactly what she did. You know, and I never learned to love myself so much that you don't settle for bullshit. Love myself so much that you attract someone who loves you too. I didn't know any of that stuff. So it did not matter. The cheating, the emotional abuse, the financial abuse, the physical abuse, it did not matter. I stayed. I stayed and I numbed myself out. And my inner child, I just cut her off. I cut her off and I blocked her out. These are the things that happen from psychological neglect. So inner child work is very, very important. Physical neglect. Physical neglect is also a way for inner child wounding to form. You know, at a basic and fundamental level, physical safety and nourishment are some of the most intrinsic elements of a loving relationship. You can see that in nature. You know, animals take care of their young. People are supposed to take care of their children. When this is lacking, however, you know, like basic things like food, shelter, and protection, the following issues can develop, you know, low self-esteem, low worth, resulting in physical neglect or abuse of oneself. And I sit here, I've worked on my confidence, but I'm still working on my confidence. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the program that I am currently doing right now by Sophia Charles in this video on confidence and anxiety. It is absolutely awesome. I can sit here with this smile on my face because I am doing my healing. Things like eating disorders, you know, maintaining a healthy diet, self-harm, these things result from physical neglect. You know, I remember growing up, and it was like growing up in the ghetto, you have the bare minimum. As a matter of fact, you're living below the poverty line, you know, and that is, it's like it's supposed to be normal, you know? So I developed this subconscious lack mentality, subconscious lack of self-worth, lack of self-love because of the way that I was brought up in my childhood. As a matter of fact, I had to learn how to take care of myself as a child. You know, I had to raise myself. And how does a child raise a child, right? You're gonna have some problems. From physical neglect, you can get intense safety-seeking behaviors, you know, such as complexes like OCD, extreme risk-taking behaviors, so they can go in the opposite direction and having like being promiscuous and having unprotected sex, or obsessive daredevil. You know, those people that have those adrenaline rush, let's go do bungee jumping and then jump in the fire and then cover ourselves with acid to see. No, I don't need to do any of that. Sorry, I don't need to do any of that. So you develop things like this, and these are symptoms of inner child wounding. Also, addictions to drugs, alcohol, violence, you know, sexual dysfunction or promiscuity, often due to sexual abuse. That is a whole other episode that I am going to get into. So 25 signs you have a wounded inner child. And I don't want this video to be too long, but it's important for me to share this, to share my story, to share my journey, because I want you all to know that I am just like you, and I've been through the fire. Been through the fire. You know, life is now just starting to get peaceful and harmonious and balanced for me, and it's because I've been learning how to heal my inner wounds and become peaceful, harmonious, and balanced within myself. And every day, it's work, every day. but the days are a whole lot better than they were before. So pay close attention to these signs. They will help you to learn the general extent to which your inner child has been wounded and the level to which you feel unsafe in this world. The more signs you say yes to, the more you need to seriously consider doing inner child work. And as a resource, I have a program by Sophia. It is 7-day intense inner child program. It comes in a master program, and it will really help you to heal. This is not a Band-Aid program where you just say a couple affirmations and go sit in the sun doing a mantra. This is real shit to give you real results. I am sitting here because I've been getting real results. So as twin flames, we are here to help each other so that we can help the world, right? We're here to raise our vibration and hold our frequency so we can show others what that looks like and raise the vibration of this planet altogether. So we need to do our work. So 25 signs you have a wounded inner child. In the deepest parts of you, you feel that there's something wrong with you. You experience anxiety whenever contemplating doing something new. You're a people pleaser and tend to lack a strong identity. Or you're a rebel and you feel more alive when you're in conflict with others. You know those people that they just love to cause drama. Everywhere they go, it's a problem. That's inner child wounding. Why do you need to have some confrontation with someone all the time? Why do you need to get so angry? Why does everything have to be so bad? You know? Or the people pleasing. Yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do that. I would fluctuate between either extreme all the time because inside my shit was a mess. I was a hot mess inside. You tend to hoard things and have trouble letting go. I was very much like that. I had trouble letting go of people that I had no business being around. I had trouble letting go of people that treated me like shit. I don't have that problem anymore. Thank you, Jesus. I don't have that problem anymore, but it took a long time and a lot of work and a whole lot of self-love I had to pour into myself to realize that I deserve better and I'm worth better. I'm not going to settle for any treatment that does not add value to my life. You feel guilty standing up for yourself. I used to have this thing where I didn't like to tell people how I felt because I didn't want to hurt their feelings, even though what they were doing was hurting mine. I'm over that now. You feel inadequate as a man or woman. You know, you don't feel like you're good enough, or you're driven to always be a super achiever. You consider yourself a terrible sinner and you're afraid of going to hell. I am very spiritual. I'm not a religious person. I used to go to church. I'm not knocking anybody that goes to church. Do you? I'm just saying for me, I am spiritual. I experienced some things in church that they didn't resonate with me. So I went off and found my own personal spirituality. And here I am today. Just a disclaimer, there's nothing wrong with you. You are not born in sin and shaped in iniquity. That's a bunch of bullshit. No, you're not. You are a sovereign being. You are love and light. You are energy, right? You are a spark of the creator. So how could you be bad? You think the creator thinks that they're bad? You think God thinks that he's bad or she's bad? No. So why do you think that? That's programming and conditioning. And then you have to step back and ask yourself, why am I being programmed and conditioned to think and feel and behave in this way? Why? Who is it benefiting? Because it's not benefiting me. It's not benefiting you. So you have to ask those questions. You can constantly criticize yourself for being inadequate, or you have trouble starting or finishing things. They say that this is ADHD, but really it's inner child wounding. You have trouble, you are ashamed of expressing strong emotions such as sadness or anger. I never had a problem expressing anger, sadness. When I cried, I wouldn't cry in front of people. I had to be really, really I just totally lost it to cry in front of somebody. I was the person who would go hide in my room or go in the bathroom or hide in my car, let it all out, wipe my face off, and I'm back to, hi, how's it going? Everything okay? And inside it was not okay. You rarely get mad, but when you do, you become rage. You just get enraged. Remember when I told you I would go from 0 to 100 quick, right? I would be perfectly fine. And then you say something and I think it or perceive it in the wrong way. And oh boy, you don't want none of this smoke. You don't want it because it's coming for you. That's what it was. Or you have sex when you don't really want to. You're ashamed of your bodily functions. You spend too much time looking at porn. You distrust everyone, including yourself, or you're an addict or have been addicted to something, you avoid conflict at all costs. You are afraid of people and tend to avoid them. You feel more responsible for others than yourself. This was very big for me. Growing up, I felt like I was supposed to take care of everyone and make sure that everything was okay. And I never even put myself on the list. The karmic relationship that I was in was, like I said, poster for that. I made sure that everything was taken care of and there was absolutely no reciprocity. I would just give, and he would just take. And I just, until I had nothing left. I was absolutely drained. I had nothing left. Or you never felt close to one or both of your parents. I grew up feeling like I never had parents. I would get made fun of, saying that I didn't have parents and I had to raise myself and we were those kids. Or your deepest fear is being abandoned and you'll do anything to hold on to a relationship and you struggle to say no. These are signs of inner child wounding, right? So if you said yes to any of these, if you can say yes to your deepest fear is being abandoned, a lot of us have abandonment issues. A lot of us put up with shit that we don't need to be put up with because we're afraid to be alone. But let me tell you something, when you begin to remember who you are, when you begin to pull back the layers and get back to who you really are, you're not afraid to be by yourself. You are your best company, your best friend. You love being with you. I love to spend time with myself. I absolutely love it. Like, I need to take time out sometimes, go away for a couple of days to just be with me. I'm okay with that now. I don't need to have people around me all the time. As a matter of fact, I don't even really like that. Maybe it's the empath in me, I have to protect my energy, protect my space, right? I'm very big on that. But for all of you out there, I know what it's like. I'm absolutely no different from you, okay? You can do this. It is time for you to do this. This is why it's so important for me to share this information so that you can look at yourself and recognize and do some deep introspection and realize, do I need to do some inner child work? Do I need to heal some wounds that I have so that I can create a better life for myself, so that I can be better with other people, so that I can be better with my children? So I'm going to put some links, some very, very valuable resources in this video on inner child work. It's some programs from Sophia that can really help you to heal yourself. These are not Band-Aids. These are not just gonna cover things up and make you feel better for 10 days and then after it's back to the shit house, you feel like shit again. No. This is real healing and real change takes time. But it's better to start now. Why not start now? I love this quote, do not judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant. So you going back to the beginning and dealing with yourself as a child is planting seeds for your life now, planting seeds for your future. You can do this. You are a twin flame. And even if you're not, you are a sovereign being, right? And why not be happy? If you're gonna be happy, be joyful, be in your bliss, be in your power. And that's what we're here to do. We're not here to be in this mental slavery where you just work and pay bills and that's all it is and put up with shit and you're unhappy. That's not the way how life is supposed to be. And I'm telling you from now, I do not have a problem going against the grain. I have no problem saying, listen, this is not what I want. This is what I want. We have to speak up for ourselves. And it's time. In this day and age, in 2020, it is time to speak up and make real change, starting with you. Be the change that you want to see in this world. So I'm going to leave this video here because I don't want it to get too long. But thank you so much for checking out my video. Thank you so much for the conversation. It would not be a conversation without you. I hope I poured into your cup in some way to help you to pour into your own. So take care. You have yourself a fantastic morning, afternoon, or night. And I will see you again on the next episode. I will catch you on the flip side. Have yourself a fantastic day. Bye.